In this video, we're going to walk through Activity 6.2, installing and removing server roles with Server Manager. Now, this is something we have done quite a bit so far, but we haven't necessarily identified the specific processes, so we're going to be specifically going through it in this time. Now, first off, because this is a new chapter, the first thing I want to do is come to each of these machines. Server DC1, it says initial checkpoint. I want to right click and apply, then do the same thing for DM1, right click apply, DM2, Hyper-V, and SA1. I want to make sure all my virtual machines are back to their initial configuration and nothing else. I've already done that and gotten my machines powered on here, so let's start having some fun. See, first off, we need to log into server DC1. It says to log in as the AZ800 administrator. Password 01. Then on DM1, it says to also log in. Actually, it may not have said to log into the DC, but whatever. It specifically says on DM1, sign in as the AZ800 administrator. This is just the local administrator. The lab tells me to log in to the domain. So I click other under username AZ800 / administrator. Password 01. Once Server Manager comes up and rests for a moment, we will then be able to start the install. All right, through the power of video editing, I was able to speed through the warm-up process. Basically, what happens is Server Manager starts off, there's a nice little status bar that scrolls along here, and you have to wait for that to finish. If you don't wait until it finishes, it will give you a nasty error when you try to install software. Okay, so in order to install software, we can click right here, Add Roles and Features, or we can come to Manage, Add Roles and Features. Before you begin, we'll go ahead and click Next. The installation type is a role-based, so we will click Next. Server selection, we are on server DM1, so we will click Next. And then under the server roles, we have lots and lots of them. We want to find print and document services as required by the lab. We will go ahead and include all management tools and then add. Yeah, next, next, next. And install. So let's going to go ahead and install the print and administrative services on this server. There's not a whole lot to it, but I believe that will take a moment or two. So I'm going to go ahead and pause until this is done. And now that the install process has finished, we will click close. And we can see, oh yes, now we have a, print services option in Server Manager, and on the left-hand side of Server Manager, we also see that we have a print services tab to be able to view additional content. Well, since this activity is both installing and removing, we just installed, now it's time to remove. Process is extremely similar. We come back up here to Manage. Instead of Add Roles, we say Remove Roles. Next. We choose our own server next, and then we can only choose the roles that are already installed on this server. So we want to uncheck print server, and yes, go ahead and remove the admin tools and other features. Next, next, and remove. And when it's done, we are finished with this lab.